A new week of Bengals training camp. The fans are gone. It's a lot more quiet out here at the practice fields. Still no Joe Burrow, so several doesn't mean today.
That's correct.
I'm going to open with that joke every time we do this. So still not to several, but we did see a couple returns. Cheeto Awuzie out there with the 11s and Joe Mixon back.
Yeah, it was good to see Cheeto back. He was actually out there in the 7s, did not do the 11s today, but I think that's at least a good progress for him. They had to actually throw Mike Thomas out there in 11s at cornerback because they only had 5 healthy cornerbacks going today. But it was good to see Cheeto in 7s. We've seen him do some things where he shadows receivers in practice, trying to do some cornerback trait things, if you will, ramping himself up. And I think this is just another sign that we'll see him practice in full either next week and at the very least the Wednesday before the opener. He'll go in the opener.
All right, so Joe Mixon is back after his legal battle. We don't have to get into that, but we had mentioned last time that it was a good opportunity for the other running backs to maybe solidify themselves as RB2. I'm not sure I saw out of the preseason game. I know Chase Brown scored the touchdown, but it didn't really seem like any of the guys really solidified themselves as running back 2. I think that position is still pretty open.
I think it is too, and I think it will have to come down to which one the coaches see on film. Pass blocks the best, probably. I mean, I think Chris Evans has had some nice moments as a runner. We know what he can do as a receiver. Chase Brown has done very good in short yardage situations as a runner, and we saw what he could do as a receiver last week. The key question is, how are they handling the pass blocking? That's hard for us just to watch from a TV perspective, something usually the coaches have to answer. And a lot of times this time of year, they're not going to tell you if they're not pass blocking properly. They're going to tell you that they're a work in progress. So I think Chase probably has the leg up, if you will, at that spot at the moment. But you're right. I mean, I think they combined 16 rushes for 33 yards. That's not all on them. That can be also pointed to playing behind backup offensive linemen. But I still think that battle is going to probably go up just to about the week of the opener.
All right, we're going into the final preseason game of the season. What battles are still we're looking for? It's not the last week of camp, obviously, before cut day, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, you have to wonder, did Jake Browning take a step forward in the backup quarterback race on Friday night? He certainly was the more productive of the 2 quarterbacks, but and a piece I did, I mean, his passer rating was only 61.4 in the 2 preseason games. Joe Burrow's never had worse in a game than 61.7. So think about that for a second. That tells you Joe Burrow's passer rating for his career is 100. It's a big difference. It's why he's one of the best in the game. And, the thing for me with that quarterback spot is I'm happy for whoever wins it. But the bottom line is, are they going to win it by default or are they going to win it by earning it? And I'm not sure that's happened yet. So I think that goes right up to it. And I think a lot of those backup offensive line spots, we saw Jackson Carman play both tackle spots the other night. We've seen Max Sharping play center and guard. Trey Hill play center and guard. I think they're trying to figure out all of those guys on the backup spots. I'm not sure any of them have solidified a spot yet. If probably Max Sharping would be the top one. But Deontay Smith is still in the mix at the tackle spot. And Jackson Kirkland got some nice run at guard the other night in a backup role. Cody Ford we saw play guard and tackle. You can see they're trying to get as much depth as they can for guys to play multiple positions. You only usually have 8 guys up on game day. Somebody you hope has center guard skills, somebody has maybe guard tackle skills, and somebody who's a swing tackle could play either one. I think that's what they're still trying to find out, and I think this last game will determine that.
At the rookie wide receiver spot, we're seeing a little bit more. Charlie Jones out here made a couple nice grabs during 7-on-7s. Yosevich obviously has made a bunch of big plays. Who do you think is in a better position heading into the final week?
I still think Charlie Jones, only because he can play slot and on the outside. But I'll tell you, Yosevich, for a guy I thought was going to be really raw, coming out of the Ivy League, where
he's gotten better each week.
I think he's been great. I mean, if you told me, who was a guy that played in the Big Ten and who didn't, I wouldn't. Yosevich passes the eyeball test, and he certainly passed the test when it comes to playing. He's played really well in both preseason games as well. So, you might wind up for the backup wide receiver spots. 2 of the 3 may well be rookies.
All right, you ready for the regular season yet?
I'm
ready.
Man, I
Absolutely. All right, another day of training camp in the books, marching closer to that opener in Cleveland.